Okay, let's think about something for a second. What if the love of your life only had, say, weeks to live? What if your idea of forever was suddenly just a few borrowed days? Today we're diving deep into a story that really hits home for a lot of people, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Now, many of you know this book. You know the story of Hazel, Grace Lancaster, Augustus Waters. It's intense, love, loss, terminal illness. It's all in there. But our mission today isn't just to retell this story. We want to pull out the core ideas, the maybe surprising wisdom hidden in what seems like such a heartbreaking tale. It's really about life, love, and, well, the choices we have to make when we know time is running out. You start with Hazel. She's 16. She's living with terminal thyroid cancer. It's spread to her lungs. And what's so striking isn't just the illness, it's how small her world feels because of it, right? Hospital visits, her parents, and this one book she loves, An Imperial Affliction. Very contained. And then, bam, Augustus Waters walks in. He's 17, charming, an osteosarcoma survivor, lost a leg. But incredibly, he's kept his amazing optimism. And he's got this thing for metaphors. So they meet. What makes that connection so immediate? Is it just the shared illness?
That's a really good starting point because, yes, the shared pain, the understanding of that experience, it's definitely a bridge. But I think, what really sparks it is deeper. It's their shared spirit, maybe, their curiosity. They connect over books, definitely, but also this very specific dark humor. And they just get each other in a way that doesn't need explaining. Augustus's optimism, it's not like naive or anything. It feels chosen. It's resilience. And Hazel, she's sharp. She's witty. Despite everything, they see the person, not just the patient. So their connection, it almost feels like this act of defiance against what their illnesses are trying to do to them.
Exactly. Defiance. I like that. And it grows, right? Especially when Hazel shares An Imperial Affliction with Augustus. And that book, with its ending that just stops mid-sentence, wow, it kind of mirrors their own situation, doesn't it? That lack of neat closure.
Oh, absolutely. It's a brilliant device.
And wanting answers about that book, wanting some kind of meaning from it. That's what pushes Augustus to use his cancer wish for that big trip to Amsterdam. To find the author, Peter Van Houten.
Yeah, they need resolution, or they think they do.
We know how that meeting goes, though. A total disaster. Van Houten is just awful, rude, drunk, completely unhelpful.
A real letdown.
A huge letdown. But despite that, what actually happens on that trip, something incredibly important, still blossoms there.
It really does. It's actually quite beautiful, isn't it? Because even with that whole Van Houten mess, maybe even because of it, Hazel and Augustus fall completely deeply in love. Amsterdam becomes this bubble, this intense, concentrated experience where for a little while the illness fades into the background. They just get to be two teenagers connecting on this profound level, forgetting the clock.
For a moment.
Yeah, just for a moment. And it shows, I think, that even when things are incredibly tough, even when your external hopes get crushed, like meeting the author, those really vital human connections can still find a way to bloom.
But then reality crashes back in. Hard. Augustus tells Hazel his cancer is back.
Yeah.
And this time.
Yeah.
This time it's terminal.
Yeah, that's the gut punch.
And the dynamic shifts, doesn't it? The boy who was so full of life starts to fade. And Hazel, who leaned on his strength, she now has to be the strong one for him. It's in those moments, the really raw, vulnerable ones, facing the inevitable.
Yeah.
That's where the story really goes beyond just being about cancer. They'd even write eulogies for each other. I mean, talk about profound, essentially rehearsing grief to find meaning before the loss.
It's incredibly moving. And that really leads to the bigger picture, doesn't it? Like you said, The Fault in Our Stars, it uses cancer as the setting, but fundamentally, it's a story about life, about the choices we make within the life we have. How do we find meaning? How do we connect when we know things are finite? And this crystallizes, I think, after Augustus dies, when Hazel finds that letter, the one he wrote to Peter Van Houten.
Oh, that letter. Yeah.
And the most poignant thing, the really almost life-changing thing about it is that it's not really about Augustus himself.
No.
It's all about Hazel. And the message in it is just incredibly powerful.
That's really where the core philosophy, the central message of the book, kind of clicks into place. What was that line again, the exact quote?
The one where he writes, "She's so beautiful, you don't get to choose if you get hurt in this world. But you do have some say in who hurts you. I like my choices."
Right. I like my choices.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that statement, it just unpacks so much, doesn't it? It's about vulnerability, sure, but also about agency, about finding meaning in our connections. It's basically saying, look, opening yourself up to love, to deep connection, means opening yourself up to potential hurt. That's part of the deal.
It's unavoidable.
Right. But the choice is who you allow yourself to be vulnerable with, who you invest in, and recognizing that the connection, the love, makes the potential pain worth it. It's this like radical acceptance. Accepting the pain comes with the territory of loving deeply and affirming the choice to love anyway.
Choosing who hurts you and liking that choice. That feels incredibly powerful. But, does that really feel like a choice when you're facing something so huge, so overwhelming, like terminal cancer? How does the book handle that tension? Agency versus, well, just terrible luck.
That's a really sharp question. Because the book doesn't shy away from the randomness, the unfairness of the illness itself. It acknowledges you don't choose that. But, and this is the crucial part, it argues very powerfully that while you might not choose the initial circumstance, the initial pain, you do have agency in how you respond. You choose who you let into your small world, who you invest your limited time and energy in. It's not about trying to dodge hurt altogether. That's impossible. It's about making the hurt count because the love that might cause it was real and chosen. It's like saying, yeah, this hurts like hell, but the person, the experience that led here, I wouldn't trade it.
Okay, so bringing this back to us, to you listening, what does this all mean for you? This story really pushes us, I think, to look at our own lives, our own hurts, the ones that are inevitable, and the choices we make about who we let in. How deeply do we let ourselves love, knowing loss is always a possibility, in big ways or small? How do we find our own forever within moments that we know are finite, whether that's because of illness or just because that's the nature of time? So the question to maybe sit with is, what choices are we making about who and how we allow ourselves to be potentially hurt by love, by life itself? And how can stories like this one, like The Fault in Our Stars, maybe help us figure out how to live more fully, risks and all, even with our own clocks ticking?